at here, look at here. Come
Look
on
at
in,
here.
come on in, come on in. Yes.
Yes. We are
Excited to be
back.
here. We are back. It is the Empowered Morning Show. And let me just say, first off the bat, good morning, Miss
Miss
Phyllis.
Phyllis.
Yes. We
Good
have missed you
morning.
so much. And she says, excited to be back. And so are we. Listen,
Yes.
season 10 is here. We are back in full effect. I don't know about y'all, but that was it was a long 2 months, seems like. But at the same time, it seems short.
It did. I'm telling you, the way 2026 has some racetracks on it.
Oh, it's not playing in any shape, form, or fashion, baby. It's just like, hey, we in it and we about to get it and we gone. And
It is gone. I'm like, I can't even tell you. What did you do on July 10th? Ooh, that seems so long ago. You like July 10th? That's so long ago.
I mean, it seemed like the kids just got out of school and now they're back in school. So we went from, morning traffic for those people who are out in it, and now you back in it again. So
Back in it again.
traffic and all of that. So at the end of the day, though, we are back. We are ready for season 10. This is August. And it's a new beginning. Y'all know the number 8 is signifying new beginning. So it's, hey, love being back, love being back. And I didn't even really do my own thing, but we got to share the broadcast. Share this broadcast out to somebody and let them know you love them.
Yes. I'm trying to go get them. Go get them.
I know, right? I'm thinking the same thing.
Empower more. Even though we've been sending the flyers out, we've been trying to get everybody one. But it's just like that first day of school.
Yes.
You like, really? Really?
Morning, Miss Patricia. Good to see you this morning. Yes. So listen, I know, ladies, anything spectacular that you want to put out that you did while we were off these 2 weeks, or y'all want to just jump on in and let's get started? Which way?
Natasha always got exciting stuff.
Good morning, everyone.
Don't even let her fool y'all that she just be over there in the sunset and just enjoy the sunlight, making me jealous because she's forever at the beach.
Hey, I was getting ready to say with the sun kiss glow like.
Yes, I used to wonder, like, why she looks so glowy all the time.
All the time, baby. Just she so looks hydrated.
I be trying to apply
hydrated and healthy
to make the glow come through.
She looks hydrated and healthy, baby, from the top of her scalp all the way down.
Stop it.
But then she'll tell me to eat like her. Then I'm like, okay, nope, never mind.
Not doing that.
Yep. Veggies, fruit, and protein. That's it. No carbs, no gluten. No gluten has changed my life completely.
I made some Alfredo last night, Natasha.
Ooh, yeah.
It looks so good. Oh my!
I had to send it to Angela because I was in y'all. I was gutting. I was. I had to go take an afternoon walk because. Man, God just be playing. He said, add this to it. I added that to it. He said, that's just a little, though. You don't need a lot because, I'm heavy-handed. He like, just a little.
He said, don't overdo it. But
it was overpowered. But it was so delicious. So you would have been so upset with me. Like, girl, why are you putting that in your mouth? Why are you eating that?
You know what? I am jealous of anyone who can eat whatever they want, whenever they want. I do not have that luxury.
Oh, I don't either. I just do it.
Yeah, maybe you'll rub some of that discipline off on us, Natasha, in this new season. But let me see who this comment. Cynthia says, I'm slowly getting to eating like Natasha. So that's a good
awesome.
Thing. Really, good thing, actually.
It sounds like that might be another fast for us. It might be a fast.
Yes.
It might be our Empowered Morning fast.
Yes. Wake up feeling good and energized, and you don't have all that bloating and heaviness throughout the day. So it might be something that we need to incorporate into the Empowered Morning Show. But let's get into it because y'all know this time goes fast. And I want to kind of come back because before we left, we were talking about um, connecting and talking about healing,
attachment versus connection.
Yeah.
attachment versus connection, and healing inside and healing for real this time. And the buzzword now is I am her, right? Or I am him. That's
Yes.
the buzzword everywhere. Every time you see it on all these different shows, all these different songs are coming out, becoming her. I'm already her. It's so many things that are speaking to us becoming the best version that God created us to be. And the crazy thing about it is, we were talking about it, but at the end of the day, we thought we would come back and really let's get into that because it sounds cute. It sounds pretty. It sounds
Yeah.
empowering. But bottom line, what does that mean to become her?
What does that mean to
Who is
become
who,
her?
who is her? Harper, who this woman is? Who is her?
Who,
Who
when you
is her?
like, who are you? How do you introduce yourself?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you, when somebody say, "Tell me, who are you?" What do you tell them? How many kids you have? Do you tell them where you work at? What you do as a career? But is that who you are? I'm asking you, who are you? That makes everybody sit and think for a minute
Mm-hmm.
because you've been so busy saying, "Oh, I have three kids. They're 16, 18, 12. I'm married, da 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 da. We have a business together. I attend this church. I do this and I do that." I didn't ask you what you do.
But for so many people, their identity is wrapped into what they do. There, it's wrapped up because you just think for some people, if you lose a job, how does
Who
that
are you?
to who you know what I'm saying? Because you've been so say you've been with a job for 20 something years and then somebody
That's
comes
a
and
good
takes
one.
over and you're laid and they phase out your position or they close out and say they want to go with the original people that's with the company that's coming in. How does that affect you? Like, do you still know that you're a child of God? Do you still know that you're an amazing woman who loves to take walks on the beach or go, sit in the park or, what do you think about those things? And Cynthia said, what are you doing to become her? Like,
Because it's assignments. It's work to become her.
good
Like
morning,
people can sing
Terrell.
these songs all they want to. You can sing "I am her," "I am." It sounds good. The rhythm sounds good, and the lyrics that they put with the songs sound good. But who? But are you just singing because the song sounds good? Have you done
Do you
the
even believe it?
research? Because
Right.
it takes research. Because for me, I know I can agree. It says, people say go back and get her. Who? Go get back and get who? I don't even know who to go back and get because I don't even know who
Miss Patricia said it
at
right.
this big grown age.
Uncovering her. She's uncovering every day. And I think that's such a powerful thought process to understand that at different stages of the heart. Good morning, Paula. Good morning.
Good morning,
But
Tina.
you
Good
know what?
morning, Paula.
I want to go back to Natasha because at one point we were doing a book club with Natasha's book, Get into the Root of It, right? My journey to understanding the disease of addiction. But one of the things that Natasha chapter 1 hits off. Who are you? And so, Natasha, I want you to kind of dig into that because at the end of the day, a lot of times people are out here just perpetrating and pretending.
Yeah,
You
she started that
people
book
think
off
you got
like,
it going on. They think you're doing what you do. But Cynthia said, Miss Patricia, yes, it's a discovery process. It's a
every day.
discovery, trying to figure out who are you.
So is it a discovery? Are we discovering or are we uncovering?
I
That's
think
just
it's a little
another
bit of
thought.
both.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Are you discovering or uncovering?
Uncovering. And the reason why I say uncovering is because God created us to be a particular way. We
Mm-hmm.
were created by design. We just don't know it yet. Right? So
Right.
there's stages to development. And in childhood, starting around the age of 18 months, is where we start to develop autonomy. So the autonomy is the independence, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then throughout from 18 months, and we go to about 3 years old, and then we start to mature in our identity around the age of 12, 13, like our teenage years.
Okay.
But during that time, we are also learning about roles in society. We're learning our role in the home, we're learning our role in
Mm-hmm.
school, we're learning our role in social circumstances, etc.
Mm-hmm.
What we are not taught in our society is the difference between our identity and our role. And our identity it has multiple parts. There is gender identity, there's sexual identity, there's personality identity. We are not taught that. So we are created by design, and our identity is in God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But a lot of us hear it, but like you guys keep asking, a lot of us don't even know what that means. What does an identity in Christ even mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I hear it in church. My mama tells me all the time, I'm God's favorite. That's great. But do I really understand and know what that means?
Mm-hmm.
Then you move forward to the early teenage years, where we're kind of grasping this concept of, okay, well, I have a little bit more independence. I'm getting to know myself. But we've always talked about trauma in our last season. Trauma, dysfunction, or chaos.
Mm-hmm.
When a child is going through those developmental stages and has experienced trauma, dysfunction, and or chaos, by the time they get to that age of 12 or 13 where they're forming their identity, I think, Sparkle, you asked a question earlier. It's like, how do I even know who I am? I don't even know who God created me to be. And as a result of my dysfunction, I further don't know who I am. And then society teaches us about roles, and there's this confusion that somehow who I am created to be is tied to the role that I'm in. I'm your best friend, I'm your girlfriend, I'm your boyfriend, I'm your daughter, I'm your mom, I'm this, which is what you were talking about earlier. That's why when people get older and you say, well, who am I? And they're like, well, I'm a mother. I didn't ask you what you do, because before you became a mother, you were a person.
Mm-hmm.
But
before you became anything.
But did you even know who that person was, especially if you have been impacted by the world? And because you don't, I always say you don't know what you don't know. So this, again, I always have to put the disclaimer. I'm not out here to place blame, or no one's at fault. There's no fingers to point. It's just a way that we've been raised, and depending upon our culture, depending upon what we are exposed to in society, that all has a place in whether or not we are going to even uncover who God created us to be. So that's why I said, are we really discovering and or uncovering ourselves?
And I agree with that, Natashah, because the reality is, the word says in Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plans I have for you. So that means that God has already
put it together
you with everything, your personalities, your, the things that you're predisposed to like and want and enjoy, right? But once you come through the womb, depending on where you land in whose household, with what parents and other relatives and things, or what your, country,
what you're exposed to,
what you're exposed to can change that. Because you just think, as a little child, if you're the kind of child that loves adventure, but you've got a mom who's overprotective, it's like, get out that bike, don't you climb that tree, oh my God, don't you put that in your mouth.
You're containing that child
in that little box
out. Exactly, because society has taught them, we've got to be careful about our kids, and you've got to watch this and watch that, and oh my God, if they do that, they can break their neck and it's going to be a tragedy. When in reality, sometimes you need to be free to go out there and find.
So where's the child's autonomy at that point? So if autonomy is part of child development and it is a requirement to help us form our identity, aren't we as caretakers suffocating?
Absolutely.
But not only as parents, but even in the school system, because now you're taught to follow a system that you didn't ask to follow. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some kids that they force you to answer questions, and you may be the person that, I don't want to answer the question today, but now they feel like you're being disobedient, or you're not,
because you didn't want to answer the question. But not only that, when the teacher is trying to teach something, the one person that received it the way that they wanted them to receive
it Correct.
did it the way that they wanted them to do it. Now that person, now you show the class how you did it. Because Jessica did it just right.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica, show the class how you did it. So now you have told me to copy the way somebody else does something instead of me doing it away. I remember so clearly, Alicia used to tie her shoes. She probably still does. She used to tie her shoes so crooked, it was so confusing. And I remember the teacher saying, I said, what do you feel about her, the way she tied her shoes? And he, it was an older teacher. And she said, did she tie the shoe? Does the shoe stay on?
That's all that matters.
Right.
I gotta tell you, I love individuals that have ADHD or are on the spectrum
Mm-hmm.
because the way that their brain is wired, they
Mm-hmm.
always think outside the box. So to your point, I can do something, and someone whose brain is rewired differently is going to get me a very, if not the exact result or a similar result,
Yeah.
doing it completely different and in a way that I would have never imagined.
Yeah. And
Being okay with it. That's the key thing
Oh,
for
yeah.
people on the spectrum. They don't care that
don't
you
care
decided
what
to
you
do that.
think.
They look
Yep.
at it like, okay, but I'm still
This is
doing
the only
my
way
way.
to do it. And they see it as this is the only way to do it. I can't even see it your way, right?
Yeah.
Which comes back to perspective.
Yeah.
And it's about allowing children to have a perspective. You know, I remember growing up, and part of when you asked a question, and why I asked a question in my book of who am I, is because at a very young age, when I wanted to express myself, it was don't talk back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't speak until you're spoken to. Girls are to be seen and not heard. And you hear all these things.
The
and you're
girls are to be seen and not heard.
not-
Oh, Jesus. How many? I just had to stop you on that one, because how many parents taught them that?
Mhm.
And now
culture has a lot to do. Culture influences a lot of that confusion between identity and role, right?
Mhm.
But you know what? The crazy thing about that, when you hear, and I'll go back to Sparkle's, example, when you hear that one person, this is the right way, it challenges you to think as a little kid, well, then I'm dumb because that's not how I did it.
Oh,
That's when all the stuff, the things that you speak to yourself and all the things that you say to yourself, because you slowly erode that confidence.
yeah.
Because now you're thinking, okay, well, what I was going to say, I'm glad I didn't say mine, because they would have laughed at me and made me feel foolish.
Yes.
All because somebody has went to an educational institution who told them that this is the right way to do certain things. But
Well, people don't realize the impact they have on each other, because with what you're talking about, I was in the airport recently, and a little boy's playing. They're in line getting ready to board the plane, and this little boy's playing with his suitcase. Parents say nothing to him. Everybody's just standing in line, but he at one point falls face forward onto the suitcase.
Mhm.
And the father immediately looked around, saw people looking, and all of a sudden got loud. You didn't even know dad was standing in line, and all of a sudden he gets loud and he said, you see, if you weren't playing around, that wouldn't have happened and you wouldn't have fallen on your face. And everybody around this little boy started laughing. Adults thought it was the funniest thing.
What
little
did
boy,
that just do?
He went and hid behind his mother. He wrapped his hand around her and he was looking up, and he looked at her, he goes, it's not funny. He goes, everybody's laughing. It's not funny. And the mom, actually stopped laughing. And she actually, I was really proud of her. She looked at him and she goes, it's not funny, honey. Are you okay? And she checked in with him. But his dad was laughing. His dad made a big deal about it. Dad started laughing, and everybody, because dad was embarrassed and dad didn't know how to deal with his own emotions.
So he shifted it back to the fun. Mm-hmm.
And
he thought he'd make fun of his kid.
Now for the rest of that child's life, everybody's laughing at me. Now he's walking around.
That's the imprint, yeah. And that's what I like the word you talk about, eroding the self-esteem and eroding the confidence. It doesn't happen overnight. It's these little moments in our lives that happens that erodes that self-esteem. And then by the time we become 18, become adults, well, nowadays it's even worse. Kids don't even have self-esteem by the time they hit 13. You know what I mean? That's weakened so much more. So just imagine It used to be that we didn't start seeing self-esteem issues probably till late teen years. Now in early teens, you got
Yes.
girls, you got guys and girls that are struggling with eating disorders and body
Oh,
image
At
issues at
9 years
10.
old,
yeah, and some of
in an
those,
early age. And I'm gonna go back to the example of the parent at the airport. Now the little boy doesn't look at his dad as a protector
uh-uh.
because
Nope.
you allow a
'Cause-
situation to make everybody laugh at me. So
Yep,
now I can't trust you
yeah.
to make
So
sure that
now,
I can be
now
okay.
I have you blocked. You're a blocker in my life.
Emotionally, I have a wall against you, and I love you. I
Yep.
enjoy being with you, but internally, something
There's no
tells me
emotional
that if
safety.
something happens,
I won't run to you. I
you
won't tell you when something's going.
you
Now,
don't have my back.
yeah,
You've picked up the perception that out of that one incident that you don't have my back. Period.
And listen, for anybody that's listening to this, we're telling one story, but if he did it that moment in the airport, he's done it before and he'll do it again. Right? The child will be a child and the parent will respond the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So I just thought that was a really great point. But it again, all these things will then impact this child. And if this child doesn't learn that there's a difference between identity and role, then that's where those two morph. And like what you were saying, Sparkle, that's why we have so many people in society that don't know how to answer the question of who am I? And
mhm,
while it's a question that requires us to take pause, everybody's quick to say, well, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I work, I do this, I do that. And you're like, I didn't ask for a performance review. I didn't ask you to tell me who what you do all day, every day. I
yeah,
want you to know who you truly are as a person. And in order for me personally, my journey into, we use the word discovering me, I needed to uncover who God created me. That's why I use the word uncovering.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not necessarily this new me I'm discovering. I'm uncovering the woman, the girl, the child that God brought into this world, that God created, so that I needed to be here and I had purpose. I'm uncovering her and becoming her. So
yeah.
that's why I use that terminology instead.
And I'm glad that you broke it down like that, because becoming her is becoming the woman that God already created. It's the coming, just like you get in your car and you say, "Oh, I'm coming. I'm on my way." I'm coming every day. I'm
Yep.
becoming who God had already put
Created.
inside of me. But
Amen.
like I go back to discover. I didn't know her, so I'm going to discover her. Like, who would have
Yeah,
known
that's why
that?
Cynthia said both.
Yeah,
Which is true
yeah,
because you have to discover. You have to. It's little things. Do you know you can be in conversation with somebody and they tell you, they ask you a question or they say something, and you have an epiphany, like, wow,
yeah,
never thought about it like that.
yeah,
Oh, wait a minute. It
yeah.
challenges who you thought you are.
And
It's
I love
because,
that. I love to
because
be challenged
yeah.
of, because if I'm not challenged of who I am, then how am I going to become better? Like, because our ultimate goal is to become the best version of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because the better we are, the better we can complete assignments. Like, you can complete things in striving to becoming the best. And don't be mad at yourself or beat yourself down because I feel like I'm just so behind. Girl, we all plan. Don't make it look like, oh, she got it. She has it all together. Baby, she at home crying just like you are. Don't.
And you really don't know that because
Yeah.
I would probably say 85% of the people in the world, what you see is not actually what you get. What you
Nope.
see on the outside, once you have a real conversation, not the surface stuff, because we're surface people. I don't care. Even people that you've known a long time, you're
Yeah.
still surface with them. You don't know the things that they stay up at night worrying about. You don't know the things that they've allowed themselves to deal with that has chipped away at their self-esteem. Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times when we talk about becoming her, the version you are now is because you've allowed yourself to say yes to something that you really didn't want to do. You allowed
Well,
yourself to be present
That
for.
you really did not want to do.
You really didn't want to do it, but somebody said, "Well, that's your friend, or that's your cousin, or that's your auntie, or that's your uncle,
And you
whoever."
was like, I don't care. I do not.
No. And so it really goes down into every time you put yourself in a situation that internally you feel uncomfortable. Internally, this is not going, but I'm going to keep the peace. I'm going to be quiet. I won't say anything. I'll just go with the flow. I'll just,
and
which
I
I
think, and we get what we give, right? So when we have a surface conversation, it's not one-sided. Part of why you're getting a surface conversation is because you're being surface as well. And
Mhm.
so that part of becoming her and becoming yourself is about being transparent. And in order to be transparent, you have to explore,
Mhm.
discover, and uncover all parts of self, not just the
Mhm.
good parts, but the
Right,
ugly parts too,
right.
right? The parts that you don't like, the parts you don't want to be,
Yep.
parts of you go, ooh, that, there are parts of me I was like, oh my God, what were you thinking?
Yes. You like, why?
What
And
possessed
I'm
me to
learning,
do that? What
and I'm
possessed me to
learning
do that?
not to judge myself, to be
Give
gentle, to be
give that
kind,
grace.
give
Give
that
that
Mhm.
grace.
gentleness.
Mhm. Because you know what?
Absolutely.
Even at whatever age you are now, you have to look back and realize that you are the sum total of all of the decisions that you made. Some decisions were made for you, but you
Mhm.
also made decisions. And where you are today is a direct result of all of that.
Amen.
And
Yep.
Amen.
so once you take accountability, and then once you realize, because at a certain age,
Oh,
you start getting, well, and I don't even know if I should say that because it's still older people who still feel like, and Cynthia said that's the hard part, not judging yourself. Because bottom line, I'm going to go back to Miss Phillips when she said, uncovering who I am in Jesus. For a lot of people going to church, that's
that
still
is
a
who
way
they are.
to apply. But I
Yep.
mean, but you're still presenting who you think the church people want you to be. So,
Yes.
um, it
But
was
fine.
I was looking at an episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta last night, and K Michelle was I think she did a song, because she's becoming a country artist, or she's became a country artist.
Oh,
But
okay.
it was hey, good morning, Miss Doris. But she did a song, I think Jesus and Whiskey. And like I can love Jesus, but sometimes I love whiskey too, or something along those lines. But
Girl,
do you know
I
how
can
you may go
imagine them
into
church
you,
people.
you may go into, but I'm saying you go into a store and you may say, oh, I'm gonna go get me a bottle of wine, or somebody say, oh, I'm gonna go get me a 6-pack of beer, and then you see your pastor at the gas pump and he's on his way in, and then you want to hide.
Like, I'm
But he's
not
there
hiding
getting
from
his six
you.
pack too.
Right, but you know what?
Who
It's a lot
are
of things
you?
that you
Like,
do. Right, but at the same time, we don't know. We tend to feel like we have got to show up certain ways for certain people, and once you start
Performance
putting that
based.
up for one person, now you slowly start forgetting who you are. You
and you doing
slowly
it
start
over and over.
changing.
And it
Well,
becomes a routine.
it
It
comes back to,
becomes
sorry, Sparkle, go
no,
ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, no, no. It's, I got excited. It's all right. You can finish your thoughts.
Go ahead before you forget it.
Yes.
I think I just did.
Every day we are becoming. I'm telling you, that's why I love making yesterday jealous of today.
Mm.
Because every day it's a strive to learn more about me, and how, like, you got to go back to yourself after you have handled a difficult situation and ask yourself, how do you think you handled that? What did you like about how you handled it? What could you have done different? Because it's important to do the evaluation on yourself, because you are in a discovering and an uncovering stage in life. So
Mhm.
going back and giving yourself a report card is not a bad thing. It forces you to continue to look at how you speak, how you respond, how you react. It tells you to check yourself.
So let me ask you, because I'm gonna kind of play off that a little bit. Definitely going back and taking a look at where you are, and doing a self assessment. Definitely. But a lot of times, society has told us that things should be a certain way, but who told them? Who
who
said this is the ideal way? Who says when I go and run track and I get second place? I mean, but what does that mean? So now you're making me feel like, oh, I need to try harder. Oh, I got to work out more and I got to do this. But in life, society has made everything competitive and everything graded. And God just says, be. I think Tina last season, talked about just be. So if I like to run, why does it have to be a competition? Why do I have to go and do this? Or if I like to sit in my room and read 30 books a year, and everybody else is outside. You need to go outside because all the kids are outside playing. Why? Why do I have to do
I
that?
don't want to be outside.
Do you know what I'm saying? But as adults, we do the same thing. As
Mm-hmm.
adults, we feel like, okay, I'm 32 years old. I better have a kid because my biological clock is ticking. Or,
Yep.
oh, I'm not married. I guess I might as well. Boy, when we getting married? Because they ask me every time we go to the
Yep.
Thanksgiving dinner, when are you getting married? Why?
Yep.
So I
What,
think
what if I don't want to? What if I'm
I think there's
satisfied with
That's
just
the same with clothes, Angela. If we all going out, everybody want to know, what are you wearing? What does it matter what I'm wearing? You wear what you want to wear, and I wear what I want to wear.
So I think there's a balance between what both of you have said. I think the self-assessment is important because it keeps us self-aware,
Mhm.
right? So I think the self-aware is important. But I do agree with you, Angela. When I do that self-assessment, it's, can I be okay, or can I just be with me without this need of, I gotta push harder, I gotta strive harder, I gotta chase more. I'm in a season right now where I'm learning to get out of the hustle mentality.
Yes,
I have
for
Yes.
spent
sure.
my life hustling, right? Just as a single mom and just always on the go, and I got to get things
Mhm.
done and this, that, and the other. Because every time I did, and I'm going to, I think it's changing. I believe there's power in your words. So instead of giving myself a grade, like a performance overview,
Mhm.
self assessment helps me realize like I'm just checking in with myself to see where I'm at, right?
Yes.
And am
Mhm.
I okay? Are there anything that I believe I need to do differently, or can I be good? Can I just be me? And can I be okay with being me? Right? And
And make it
this will,
healthy. A
correct.
healthy, and that's the whole thing is when we talk about healing herself, healing us, the little girl who is inside. But when you're doing the assessment, be mindful of who are you comparing that assessment to, because
Correct.
even though you might say, okay, let me see where am I at financially.
Hmm.
And then you look at everybody else and say, okay, well, they've got a brand new car and she just got a new house. And oh my gosh, she says she
Hmm.
makes $8,000 a month. And oh, so I got to get myself together. Who said that? Because maybe what you need to survive is very simple. Maybe what you need to
Facts.
survive is very easy. Maybe you just want to be somewhere on a little small beach house and be able to walk out in the sand every day and sit under the sun. And maybe that's satisfying to you. For
Yes.
somebody else, it's just like, oh, girl, I'm almost about to be 50 and I've never been a homeowner. I got to go out here and get me 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and a 2-car garage because that's what's going to, do you know what I'm saying? So you got to
Yeah.
be careful about, even when you're doing your self assessment, is it because
Who
it's
you're
making
measuring it
you
against.
happier? Or are you measuring it against what you feel like society or your grandmama or your auntie or your other cousins or what they're doing or the people that you used to work with 5 years ago? You can't have them seeing you over here making less or doing a job less than what you were doing when you were working with them.
Well, this is where the taking the time in relationship with God to
That's
know God and know who God created you to be. Because when you do that self assessment, I'm measuring myself against who God created me to be, who God's
that part.
calling me to be,
Mhm.
right?
That's all I'm
Because
saying. Like, I'm not saying measure it against society or people, but measure because it's a conversation that you have with God in you. It's not a conversation that I'm gonna bring Natasha in and everybody in. No, it's a conversation that you sometimes you have to have more conversations with just you because it is some things that you could learn or you need to make sure you, like you were saying, the self-awareness. Just make sure it's self, not world.
Make sure it's, I think where I'm going, and definitely, like I said, the self assessment piece is great. But for people to understand that ultimately you're trying to become who God created you to be, you're trying to become in
Mm-hmm.
alignment with that.
Amen.
And it's
Amen.
hard to become in alignment with who God called you to be, when even in your conversations with God, you're still saying, why am I like this? Why am I, you know what I'm saying? You're still questioning and wondering who that is, trying to figure it out. One of the questions we had is, why, when you talk about who is her, why do so many women lose themselves trying to become what everyone else needs? Why do, when you become married, you're trying to be everything your husband needs? When you have kids, you're trying to be everything your kids needs. When you go to the job, you're trying to be everything the employer needs, but you lose yourself.
See,
How
that's
does
a
Because we have
that's a
been
loaded
taught to
question.
be people pleasers. We was taught to be people pleasers. It was just part of who I believe.
It's a lot of different influences. It's culture, it's society, it's what you learn in your upbringing. Um, it's rooted in pain, right? It's rooted. You have to
Mm-hmm.
think about it. When that child comes into the world, the child is at mercy of its caregivers and the people around them and what they teach them.
Yeah.
So if the people around you have a lot of hurts, aren't they going to transmit their hurt onto this newborn child?
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what we have to remember. A
And they
lot of what
will,
we
not meaning to.
Not
yeah,
meaning
yeah,
to.
agreed. Agreed. Thank you
Think
for
about
the
the little boy
disclaimer.
in the example you just said earlier. He's going to grow up and be a parent, and you have one or two ways. You know how sometimes kids who have absent fathers may say, I'm never going to be like my dad. But then you turn out to be a version of that. Or
Mhm.
you go the exact opposite. But all of those feelings and emotions and experiences have made you how you are.
It
And
Mm-hmm.
influences.
sometimes, even unconsciously, that spills over to your kids, or that
Yeah.
spills over to the person that you
Well,
marry.
that's where generational curses come from, right? It's those generational patterns, right? Behavior is learned. And as much as we say we don't want to do something or be like someone, we can't help it, because I always say we don't have a blueprint on how to do it differently,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I come from a household that uses humor to get over pain and I say, I don't want to be like that when I get older, where is the mirror, or not the mirror, where's the blueprint or the lesson to do it differently? How will I learn to not
Right.
use humor all the
Yeah.
time? I don't want to use humor, but I don't know any other way. And so it's important for us to understand that in this whole discovering and uncovering of self, that a lot of who we are, a lot of what we do, a lot of that behavior is learned behavior.
Yeah.
And in that self assessment,
Mm-hmm.
I need to be asking myself, is this behavior in alignment with how God wants me to behave? Am I
Mm-hmm.
in alignment with who He needs me to
Exactly.
be or
Yep.
who He created me to be? Right? And
You
if it
spend that
isn't, that's
time
where
so
the
that you
change
know
comes.
that. Because I
Yep.
think a lot of times in going to God, we're still going to God confused,
Yep.
not
Oh, yeah.
even really trying to get the answer. Tanya said, as a woman, I feel like it comes by nature to be caring, kind, and empathetic. With that being said, there's a lot of women who have experienced some atrocious behaviors that have
Mm-hmm.
caused them to be hard, that have caused them to be bitter, that have caused them to
That
be
they have
mean.
to be
And
strong.
so, yeah, or that, or that, what they say, nobody, but what they say, buckle up, buttercup, nobody's coming to save you. And so
Yeah.
now you go out here and you feel like I got to be the independent woman. And so even if I have a man that comes in my life and says, I want to love you and take care of you and treat you well, you're suspicious with that.
You like
You're
whatever.
you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, okay, so when is he gonna switch up, girl? Yeah, I mean, he said it all sounds good. He's just doing that because he really want to get some. Once he get it, then what happens? We always
Yes.
have a cynical
That
outlook
is
on
so
things
good,
based
Angela.
on how life has been to us. And so as you get older and you start kind of transitioning in your life, now you start looking at it. And I want, hopefully, people that's looking at this, I know for most of us we probably have a mid-age to older crowd. But even being a younger woman, before you get to the place of being jaded, before you get to the place of always thinking that somebody wants something from you, get in the relationship with God so that you can be secure and can stay kind and caring and empathetic, and not
Yeah.
be hard and not be harsh and not be all the things that society has built you to be
Yeah.
And when you have those conversations with guys, to soften my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So that's called boundaries. And so Tanya's right. So by nature and the way that we are designed to be nurturers. Now that does not mean that men can't be, because they can,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
but we are physiologically innately designed to be nurturers.
Mm-hmm.
But we do need, and something we do not learn, because I hear this almost every day, is that I grew up in a household where there were no boundaries. Some homes have rigid boundaries, and some homes have what we call porous boundaries and or no boundaries.
Yep.
And boundaries are so needed so that we don't get lost, so that we don't cross over the line. Because I agree, yes, we are designed to be caring and kind, but based on our upbringing, based on how we are influenced, based on what type of wounds may have been inflicted upon us, is going to determine how caring we are, how kind we are, overly empathetic we are. I always say that we are created to have empathy, majority of us, because there are some people, like for instance, a sociopath does not have empathy. So, but I won't get into that. But empathy without boundaries is what leads to codependency.
Yeah. Mm.
And so that's why the boundary is important. So what you're talking about, Angela, are women who are empathetic, overly empathetic, and have no boundaries. They're codependent, because now they're out there feeling maybe either I got to be misindependent and I don't need anybody,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or I'm codependent, where I've got to go out and fix, manage, control, rescue, enable, problem
Yes.
solve the world in order to keep it together,
That's
right?
so good.
That's
That
another
is
It's a
so
topic for
good.
another
process.
day.
I mean,
It
and
is. It's so
to
confusing
dig
sometimes.
deep, to dig deep. Sparkle. Any of y'all who've been with us for a period of time, y'all know Sparkle did a lot of mirror talk, and it's going to require you. It's work to undo all of the damage that's been
And
done.
still doing it.
And for some people, you might be thinking like, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm good. I'm straight over here. But
Hmm.
that by itself is a reason for you to do some work, because yeah, it starts a whole process. Because even when sometimes you think you have it together, one thing, somebody can pull one string and it unravels the
And
And
it
entire
unravels the whole
thing.
thing.
Right. One
It
thing that you
can.
never even thought about, or you can be somewhere and listen to a song and it impacts you to where you just start crying and you don't even really know why you're crying. You're just like, I don't know what happened. I just,
It is. It's part. Whew, discovering and uncovering is whew.
Wanda says, so true. Oh my God, it took me years to figure this point out. Therapy has really helped me get to the root of the problem and work through it.
That's why therapy is so important. Like I mean, we cannot continue to run from it. Now, every therapist is not going to be the one for you. Every man is not for you. Every church is not for you. So it's
But
but
you know what? That's how people close off. When you get
yes,
one
we
and they
use
mess
that
you
as an
up, you're like,
excuse.
all men are dogs. When you
But
get,
isn't that part of becoming her though? You starting to self-explore, like, okay, therapy might not be for me, but there's so many different types of therapy and
Yeah.
coaching and mentoring and things that are
Mhm.
out
So
there.
many
Like
You have to
different
be
kinds.
open though.
it's
But
not one size
that's
fits
the thing
all.
of being open to the exposure. I think for
Yep.
some people,
And the
because you don't
engagement.
want to be hurt, you don't want to be rejected. So whenever the first thing that comes to you that doesn't grow in alignment with how you think it
You're
should
like, I'm
be,
done.
you just like, Garrett, child, nah,
I
yeah,
ain't doing that
Been
ever again.
been there,
therapy
done
wasn't for
that.
me. Therapy wasn't for me because the reality is everybody who is in a therapy position may not really, they might not be what they were called to
You know
do.
what's
They just
you know
feel
what
like
comes to mind though?
they get
We
paid
don't do
for it.
that with food. If we try a food and we don't like it and it don't work, don't we go and find another piece of food? Same
Yes,
thing with
But
money.
yeah, you're
I don't
right.
want that. What did
It's
somebody
that
tell you?
one restaurant. You just don't.
Try
You
this.
just
Try
don't
the
Or
want
even
whole concept is
or
that
at
even
one.
this
with
place.
money. I can't get money this way, so I'm going to go find another way to get money. Don't we always find an alternate for when and here's the kicker. When you are truly in a place where you are ready to turn your life over, when there's readiness and willingness, you will find an alternate route.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so for those of us who just want to look at it this way and be like, oh, well, I'm not doing that, you're not ready and you're not willing and you don't have that burning desire to create change and allow God to do what God can do in your life. I'll drop my mic
Yes,
and leave that there.
Natasha, this reminds you when, I mean, and I still do it now, but when God started telling me this is who you are, this is how you handle, like when he started showing me, I was like, oh, that ain't me. That ain't what, it was like, yes, ma'am. That is exactly you.
Yep.
You have an attitude. You that like when he started breaking that stuff down to me, it was just a wow factor.
Because the ugly pieces of you are like, I don't want to look at that. I must let somebody else see
Yes.
that. You know,
God and I have to sit with that for days at a time. Like it's not just okay. No, it's some days, months, maybe years that we got to sit with that. Because first of all, I'm refusing to hear him. I'm refusing to like. So you got this big guard up, but you come to me and ask me, God, I want to know who I am. Who have you called me to be? Then he start breaking it down.
Or you're asking God to take you somewhere, or you're asking God to remove something. And, you know, Angela always does this all the time. He's not a magician. He's not going to just take it. She does this, right? He's not just going to take it away. You have to learn something from it. Because if you don't learn the lesson, it's going to happen again. And so it's about, I agree with you. There have been times, lots of times, even now in the journey, that there are things that in my mirror reflection, I look at it and go, ooh, still working on that, you know, and I need that accountability and taking that time with God. And again, uncovering and discovering who God created me to be by design and what God's calling me to do. I'm going to use stubbornness because stubbornness and patience. Let's try patience because I'm working on that one right now.
You gonna try patience?
I know you. She's coming out with the big guns now, baby.
This is our birthday back, Natasha.
And you know what, Natasha? Even in the conversations with God, and I'm gonna let you get back to the patience part. We gotta start being accountable because God said, if God tells you something about yourself that you don't like, well, the reason why is because they did this, or well, if they hadn't said that,
we got to come back every single time.
That mouth will not let you just sit there and be like, okay, God, you right, I didn't have
you like God. The reason why I ran him over was because
he was in my way.
Because he should have moved. Nobody told him.
I told him to move. I told him to get out of my way. And he didn't get out of my way.
You should have known better.
Wanda said, it took me a while to find the right therapist. I have 3, one for mental wellness, one for my spiritual mental wellness, and one for my integrative holistic wellness for chronic pain. Our lives aren't a one-stop shop. I am so grateful God put the right people and professionals in my life.
Yeah.
You done said a word now. Natasha, go into what you were getting ready to say. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. You're just spot on. And so I use patience as an example. I could hear God say to me that you're not patient and be like, yeah, okay, whatever, and blow it off.
Right.
And then get mad and upset that I want to go somewhere in life and I'm not getting to where I'm wanting to go to. And God is like,
why am I not getting there, God? Why?
Because
he said to me before that I'm not patient.
So let's revisit that conversation that you didn't want to have. How about
then you start throwing your age in there, and
I've been there.
Yeah, I'm too old for all that. I'm not doing that. But the thing about it is, y'all, becoming her. And for the men who I know we got a heavy female, viewership, but if some man is listening, to become the man that God created you to be. Because the reality is where you start and where you are, it's a whole lot of stuff that went in between there. And it's a whole lot of things you've got to unlearn. It's a whole lot of things you've got to accept responsibility for. There's a whole lot of things that you have to say that, you know what, that was me yesterday. And I may not be able to go back and apologize to everybody. Maybe I need to just write a letter and say, to all the people that I showed my behind to. That all of y'all. if to everybody, because we were looking, me and my husband were looking at a movie the other day, right? And so this lady, they something happened. I guess somebody had broken into their home, so they moved to another state, moved to where he was from originally. And so he met an old, classmate. He was at the grocery store, and she saw him. She's like, when did you get back? And she was like, okay, I'm here. She said, won't you and your wife come over to the house, and we'll all sit together and have dinner and talk or whatever. Well, when the wife got over there, she was such a jerk. You know what I'm saying? And it was unnecessary. She didn't have to be like that. And she was like, well, I'm pregnant, my hormones and whatever, whatever, whatever. But do we realize how many people you have disappointed, you have hurt, you have abused because
with that mouth.
That mouth will mess you up, and it will cause people to treat you certain ways that when you get in your right mind and when you just like, oh, well, hey, I'm in a good mood today, and they look at you like, oh, hey, girl, hey, how you doing?
Yeah. And then
you wonder, like, oh, why she so dry?
Me? Like, why she blowing me off?
Because we don't think about how we show up, because we should show up with kindness,
so
nurturing, and empathy.
So in recovery, we call that making an amends, not an apology. And then this comes back to your previous comment that I have to be willing to look in the mirror and acknowledge my wrongdoings.
Yes.
I have to be willing to acknowledge that I'm stubborn, that I'm prideful, that I'm self-centered or self-absorbed, whatever that may be. Because until I don't do that, it's not going to be possible for me to look to you and say, you know what? When we had that interaction last time, I did X, Y, and Z, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our society needs to learn these I'm sorries are a waste of time, especially if you don't, especially if that doesn't follow up with a continued or changing behavior.
Yeah.
Right?
You just want to get to where you're going. If you and your man have had an argument and you really want to go out there, you're like, okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Can we go there?
We say I'm sorry like it's a band-aid and a blanket to
like
kind of soften the blow of something.
Right.
But in reality, what you're talking about is making an amends, meaning that I am willing to sit here and acknowledge that this was my part. Now, I'm not going to take ownership of your part. Right. I'm not going to claim what you did. I can only speak to what I did and what I can do differently.
Yes.
And then ask that person in that relationship of what do you need from me moving forward so that I don't repeat this behavior again. It's one of the greatest lessons that I learned in my recovery. It's step 9 in the 12-step process called making an amends. It's the best thing because now even I have made amends with people who have passed, because even though they're not here in the physical, I changed that behavior by how I treat other people moving forward.
Yes.
Right? So even with myself, the thing when you were talking earlier, I think of love. We talk so much about how we love other people. How can you love someone when you don't love you? How can you respect someone when you don't respect yourself? Because if you don't have boundaries and you don't learn to, the reason why we judge other people is because we judge ourselves. Right?
First and foremost. And you come off with a judgmental attitude towards somebody who's not done anything to you just because you don't like, you know what I'm saying? You just think like if you go to church and somebody's dressed provocatively in your mind and you're just like, I don't know why these people come in here looking like this and you're already prejudged. Now you already got an attitude. And now when the lady just needs somebody because she, you know what I'm saying, trying to come in and heal, you can't give freely because you're already caught up in a preconceived notion. I'm going to get Wanda. She said, child, God woke me up in 2006 and told me to make amends with everyone I had differences with and whom I've hurt. I am proud to say I am at peace and have no issues with others that I know of.
Amen. That's a great feeling. That's a great, not just feeling,
peace should be the ultimate thing. Peace should be your ultimate. It should be your what is it? Your guiding thing. If you don't have peace about a situation, if you don't have peace about how you handle things, if you don't have peace about how you spoke to someone, because y'all know the mother in the example you used earlier, Natasha, when she was laughing, the little boy said it's not funny. Had she not said, you know what, it's not. Are you okay?
Then he would have put you.
But had she not done that, she would have felt guilty later on when the little boy was crying away. She was like,
or when he came back and blew up that whole airport the next year, people were like, what happened? Well,
I mean, we have to have, we talk about showing peace or being a peacemaker with others. But you have to start being a peacemaker with yourself,
With yourself.
First.
right?
Yep.
Go to God, go before God of your understanding and make peace with self. We are
Yes.
too busy trying to fix everything or correct everything
Mr.
external
Fixes.
of ourselves rather than correcting what's within
Yeah.
us. You correct this, mind, body, and spirit, and your ability to correct everything up. It's almost, now that is magical. That is magic. When I align this and I work on this, all
Mm-hmm.
this other stuff
Start
falls
coming
into
all
alignment.
together.
Because
Absolutely.
all the
Natasha,
other
I'm
stuff
so
is not
glad.
your responsibility.
Correct.
Everyone is created and designed by God to
Mm-hmm.
be who He wanted you to be that masterpiece, to be that fearfully and wonderfully made. But because you're all over in 22 other lanes, you have no time to make sure that you're good.
In
But when
all
you
them
make sure
lays.
that you're in your lane and you work
With no
on
turn signal.
yourself and you make sure that you don't swerve and cause somebody else to swerve that causes a 10-pound car crash, stay in your lane and work on you
Yeah.
and heal you and stop worrying about everybody else's healing because they really got to get it for themselves. I mean, like they say, my mama can't get me into heaven. She
No.
can pray, she can tell me things,
But she
but my
can.
Facts.
behavior and my actions are what's going to determine whether or not God says, well done, or He said, get thee behind me. Whichever way it's going to be, it's a sum total. Now, I'm not saying that people can't pray for you because the prayers of a righteous man availeth much. But at the end of the day, you
It's still
have to
up
be
to you.
responsible for who you are,
So
who you're
can
becoming.
I touch on it because I know we're running out of time.
Yeah.
People can pray for you. Yes. And God can give to you. But if you don't have a receiving heart,
Mm-hmm. Then that prayer.
to is gonna fall by the wayside. And it doesn't mean that your prayer can't be powerful.
Mhm.
But people tend to forget that they have a part in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the part is just, am I willing to be humble enough to receive
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that God's giving me
Mm-hmm.
and managing my expectations? And the reason why I say that is because what you guys are talking about, as I work in the field of addiction and mental health, we have a lot of families that are believers and they're praying for their loved ones and they just don't understand. My prayers aren't working because my loved one is still addicted. I'm like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
You don't go to God and pray and then all of a sudden whatever you're praying for is just going to magically disappear. The question is, does the individual
Yes.
have the readiness and the willingness to
To
receive
receive.
the healing
Right.
that God has
Yeah.
given them or that the God is
The
offering?
belief.
And the way that God might offer it, God may put someone in your life that speaks positivity or puts hope, is a light of hope in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they open the door to a scholarship and treatment. Who knows?
Yep.
But the person have to, and I think the hardest part for us as people is when the people in our lives and ourselves, we have to recognize that if you're not ready, just admit that. That's transparency.
It's
Just admit that you're
okay.
not ready.
And it's
Exactly.
really okay. Like if you still need to pack your bags up and you are not packed yet, like you're, and it's
Just own it.
okay. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you said that because in that, God kept on telling me the conversation that He had with me, and one of them was nobody owes you nothing.
Mm,
Wow.
Your
facts.
mama don't owe it to your daddy don't.
Facts.
Nobody owes you
And people feel
nothing.
entitled that other people owe them everything.
Yes, and you keep
You owe me
on
anything.
trying to write them out an invoice, and then you upset because they won't pay the invoice.
That's good. That's good.
Mhm.
And that's why we have to stop.
Send out as many invoices as you want to.
Yes.
Then the more that they was not paying the invoices, I was getting more upset and more. I don't like them. I dislike. It was building up because
Mhm.
I kept on trying to get them to pay something that they didn't need to pay. That was up to me.
Mhm.
So it's all.
Unrealistic
It comes back
expectations.
to you.
At the end of the day, everything does. It all comes back
Everything
to
comes back
you.
to you.
To
Your
become God.
boundaries, your self-esteem, your self-worth, your belief. Your belief is your belief.
Facts.
Absolutely. So listen, we have talked about who is her. Sit with that today. Sit with who you are and think about what does becoming her look like. What are you going to have to give up? What are you going to have to, start doing? What apologies or amends are you going to have to make? How do
Right
you get
off.
to that peace? What are you going to have to do to become who God called you to become?
Whew,
Spend that time, because I'm telling you, it is worth it. And if some
that's
people, it's going to
heavy.
take a long time. It's not instantaneous, but it can be done. Because if
Hmm.
you're a child of God, I mean, God is never going to give up on you. He's
I would
always.
love I would love if people took that question today and come back to the show tomorrow and share some comments with us. I would love to, invite
Let's
you guys
see.
back to the show, and I would love to see if we, it's a great challenge. I think we all need to take some time to reflect on that. So if anybody's up for the challenge, write the question down and let's come back tomorrow and you guys can share with us what you think that might be for you.
And if you want to just messenger us that and you don't want to
Mhm.
put it out, like some people don't want to put themselves out there, which is fine. Just
Mhm.
send DM us, either one of us, and send it to us. And your name will not be, we will just talk about it. Because
So you
one
can help
thing,
somebody.
yeah, we're all here to become better. We're all here on one accord, in align, in alignment to help one another. So it's a great first day back,
Great first day back.
ladies.
Yay.
Great
I know, right?
first day.
So we will be back tomorrow. And I guess we're going to break it now, right? Let's just go on and break it to y'all now. This season 10, we are only here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So
What
that means
about Friday?
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Wednesday
and
and
Thursday.
What
Thursday.
about Monday?
Tuesday,
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Wednesday,
and Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah. The beauty of it is on Monday, you can go back and look at a replay. Friday, you can
So
go back and
don't
look
send
at a
a
replay.
DM on Friday. Talk about where
Now,
you
you know
at?
what I would like to say real quick, and then we got to go. Dr. S. Marie and I, we always, Melanie and Marriage, the fourth Thursday of the month is like date night. So on Mondays and Fridays, have a date with God and
Mm,
ask him the question that you need to answer. So at this time slot that you're up already, ask God to help you with whatever we talked about during
amen.
the week so that you
Yes,
can the
that's
best version of
awesome.
you. Spend
See,
that
I
time,
tell
spend
you,
that date with God. We make it Mondays
Angela
and Fridays
creativity.
the dates with God to
See how she just popped up with that, came up with that out of nowhere. That wasn't rehearsed. That wasn't talked about.
wasn't expecting that. But Wanda, she's Wanda. I can't believe I caught the first day. Yes, God placed you here for a reason. And come back tomorrow
Come back
and share
Yeah.
tomorrow.
your story, because I know you said you have plenty of stories, but we want to know what that
Mhm.
looks like as far as what does becoming her look like for you. What are you going to have to give up? What are you going to have to do? This
Okay,
is
Angela, let's go. We got to
all
get
right.
out of here.
She
I
has to
believe God.
share
Do
the
you
assignment
believe God?
again. Look, I was just giving a claim. She has to share the assignment again. That's all.
Oh, yes. Yes. See that patience. You see how my
Natasha.
patience did not work, Natasha? You saw that patience. I'm work with me.
Listen, it happens the way it needs to happen.
Right. In real time. Y'all see you see how it happens. Okay, we gotta get out of here. Go ahead and hit this part.
I believe God. Do you believe God? We believe God. We believe God. Have a blessed one. We will see you back on Winning Wednesday.
Yay.